In the endless summer of 1990, the 14th FIFA World Cup competition provoked a mass pilgrimage of footballers, fans and journalists to Italy. The setting could not have been more apt. With the strength of its domestic league, its long international traditions, and its willingness to invest in football, Italy had become the spiritual home of the modern game. Among the first to arrive are the West German team, only four favourites behind Italy, Brazil and Holland, despite their astonishing record of consistency in World Cup finals. Twice winners, 3 times runners-up and 3 times semi-finalists. Perhaps it was a burden of history on Franz Beckenbauer, who had captained his country to World Cup victory in 1974. To win as manager would be an unprecedented feat. The tournament would also be a media event of unparalleled proportions, and more than 7,000 journalists and photographers accredited. Although a few press came expecting trouble, Ferdinando Mezzalani hoped that the players and not the police would provide the best photographs. With more than 200,000 supporters travelling, the risks were high, but none arrived with more good humour than the Irish. To this, their country's first ever finals, the 20,000 Irish fans brought both a determination to enjoy themselves and to be enjoyed by others. Que sera, sera. And while the tournament's referees dutifully inspected the places of worship, His Holiness the Pope came to bless them, knowing that for 4 weeks Catholicism would have to take a back seat to the world's foremost religion. After the official welcomes from FIFA's President Havelange and Italy's Prime Minister Andreotti, the festival commenced. Argentina, the champions of 1986, were still led by their tiny maestro Diego Maradona. Would age and a succession of injuries diminish his magical powers? Cameroon soon showed that they would be a test for anybody. Undefeated in the 1982 tournament, they were now as fit, skillful, and as hard as any European or South American side. In the 67th minute, 5 minutes after his brother had been sent off, Orman Beek produced a stupendous salmon leap, which left Pompidou handling the ball as if it were a wriggling fish. The world champions were a goal down. Cameroon's celebrations reflected the team's amazement. The speed of Claudio Caniggia was Argentina's main threat, until Benjamin Massing invited him to try it without legs. Maradona made sure there would be a second red card for Cameroon. The 38-year-old veteran Roger Mila was brought on to keep Argentina occupied. And an astonishing victory was secured. Maradona sought consolation in hailing the result as a symbolic defeat for racism. But those who patronized Cameroon did so at their peril. Another victory over Romania, 2 goals from Mila, took them to the second round for a match against the uncertain talents of Colombia in Naples. But as a stalemate developed, the old warhorse Mila was sent into battle again. While one Colombian fan invoked ancient South American gods to help his team. The game now needed extra time to find a quarter-finalist. The pressure built, especially on Colombia's eccentric keeper, René El Loco Higuita. While European managers agonized over their defensive systems, Higuita's solution was to double up as an occasional sweeper. In the group match against West Germany, Higuita's antics had only just escaped punishment, with the referee coming to his rescue. But when Mila finally put Cameroon ahead in the second period of extra time with a typically forceful finish, Higuita simply became a time bomb waiting to go off in the Colombian defense. In the 108th minute, he finally exploded into action. Mila blasted the ball home, and the only shrapnel was the egg on Higuita's face. While Mila wiggled, Higuita squirmed. The Cameroonians celebrated just as they played. And despite a late Colombian goal, they became the first African side ever to reach the quarter-finals of the World Cup. While football may remember Higuita's bizarre exploits with a smile, they will be the stuff of nightmares for his teammates. For the Italian squad, the challenge was to make the dreams of their 60 million fans reality. Gianluca Vialli, the muscular striker for Sampdoria, was their main hope for goals in the first game. Although Austria had the prolific Tony Polster to threaten, Italy attacked from the start, in dazzling contrast to their usual caution. Vialli was soon risking his expensive legs. Italy's approach work was thrilling, but Napoli's Carnevale squandered chances. His replacement by the virtually unknown Sicilian Schillaci seemed a desperate gamble. Schillaci had had just one successful year in the top flight with Juventus and little international experience. But it took him just 3 minutes to shake off obscurity forever. Italy had found a saviour in Salvatore. In their next match, they faced the Americans. Already thrashed 5-1 by the Czechs, the Americans had little more than the credibility of their status as 1994 hosts to play for. Encouraged by Italy's fluent style in the opening game, a huge domestic TV audience tuned in. While Ferdinando and his colleagues loaded up to capture the expected goal rush. The challenge for American goalkeeper Tony Mueller was double-edged. How could he possibly please his Italian father? Mueller had little chance with Giannini's superbly taken goal after just 11 minutes. And when Berti won a penalty in the 33rd minute, it seemed the avalanche was crashing around Mueller's head. But the goalpost saved Vialli's penalty, and Italy's swagger lost its confident stride. Again, the hitman Schillaci was sent on for the disappointing Carnevale, a striker firing blanks. Italy swarmed around Mueller, who stood up bravely and no doubt thought of Custer. But unlike Custer, America almost got a draw. With Italy struggling to close out the game, America won a free kick. It took the Sita Zeta shorts and a clearance by Ferri to prevent Vermes scoring a shot equals. Italy had scraped their win, but it took them through to the second round. America was out, but had shown some promise for the future. Indeed, Mueller's display of the right stuff would later bring him the chance of a professional career in England, and the result left his dad beaming. Whilst Italy had laid on a feast of style with a famine of goals, West Germany faced Holland in the second round as leading scorers with 10 goals in their 3 group matches, some of the highest quality. Their powerhouse captain, Lothar Matthäus, led by example. With his 2 great goals against Yugoslavia and his non-stop running, Matthäus had staked an early claim to be the player of the tournament. Closely followed by striker Jürgen Klinsmann, a giraffe to look at, but a gazelle in motion. These two, and fullback Bremer, played their club football for Inter Milan. With Gullit, Van Basten and Rijkaard from AC Milan, there was an additional edge between two nations short on brotherly love for each other. Within 20 minutes, this volatile mixture had begun to boil over as Rijkaard was booked for a crude foul on Rudi Völler. Rijkaard then added disgraceful insult to injury by spitting on the German forward. Völler's complaints fell on deaf ears and earned him a booking. So an angry Völler quickly sought to take the law into his own hands. Eventually, referee Lusto of Argentina applied the wisdom of Solomon and dismissed both players. Even then, Rijkaard found time to repeat his contemptible behavior. No provocation could have justified it. With the poison drained, however, the game suddenly flowered into vibrant life. Ruud Gullit, long absent through injury, showed glimpses of his awesome talent. The Dutch grew in confidence. But nothing can beat a man at the height of his powers. In the 50th minute, Klinsmann swooped on Buchwald's cross to give Germany the lead. Holland subsided into frustration, with Van Basten as pale in form as he is in complexion, taking it out on Matthäus. The booking was a sorry way to register his name in the World Cup, which had expected greatness from him. Deprived of further support, Klinsmann did the work of 2 men, running his heart out to break the Dutch resistance. Exhausted to the point of substitution, Klinsmann received a justifiable ovation for his performance, as thrilling for its spirit as it was for its technique. With 6 minutes left, Andy Bremer, a left back with a great right foot, finally put the game beyond Holland with a marvellous shot. The Germans celebrated extravagantly, giving evidence of the team spirit Beckenbauer had generated. The Dutch camp had been riven with dissent, and when the team needed unity most, it had gone missing in action. A late penalty from Koeman was more torment than consolation. The night belonged to an increasingly impressive West Germany. The great tapestry of colour which supporters weaved across Italy included a large contingent of the Egyptian Navy, who just happened to dock in Cagliari on the night their team played England. After a much-derided draw against Ireland in their opening game, the England players had persuaded manager Bobby Robson to bring Mark Wright as sweeper. A success in the goalless draw with Holland, Wright was now a fixture, especially as captain Brian Robson, for the second tournament in succession, had flown home with an injury. The aptly named Bull was picked to treat the rugged Egyptian defence like a china shop. But England, needing a point to be certain of progress, stuttered. Shilton, by now the most capped goalkeeper in history, stayed on constant alert for any Egyptian threat. Likewise, a carabinieri for the English fans. Robson urged his team forward. The game was won by Wright's header after 58 minutes. Meanwhile, the number 19 quietly celebrated his part in the goal. Liberated from exile on Sardinia, England and their fans began to give evidence of the new harmony in the game. The match in Bologna against a good Belgian side promised to burn out the motor drives of ever-present photographers. They were not to be disappointed. Belgian skipper Jan Koelemans hit the post with Shilton beaten. But then the luck was with Belgium, as Barnes' brilliant volley became a victim of FIFA's misguided policy of using the referees to do the specialist job of linesmen. The two teams continue to play open football. Schifo beats Shilton, but not the goalpost. Still, no goals. David Platt, a rising star of the English game, but still an apprentice in international teams, comes on for the third time as substitute. Gascoigne gets what will prove to be a fateful booking. And demonstrates his dangerous relationship with referees, that of the parrot to their Long John Silver. The game goes into extra time, with both sides having used up their ration of luck. It is now simply a test of guts as well as skill. And Gascoigne proves that he has both. He even listens to the bench's orders to chip, not shoot. And with less than 1 minute of extra time remaining, Platt volleys his team into the quarterfinals and himself onto 1,000 back pages. The England bandwagon gathers new momentum. During a brief lull in the tournament, Florence puts on display a calcio storico, the 400-year-old ancestor of modern football. It allowed us to see how much the modern game has progressed from its rough and tumble origins, or perhaps how little. Argentina's second match against the Soviet Union. And goalkeeper Pompidou breaks a leg in a collision with his own defender. His replacement is Sergio Goycochea, whose preparations have been limited. The Colombian league where he plays had been suspended after the shooting of a referee. Maradona is quick to lend a hand, proving that after Mexico, God is truly ambidextrous. Trollio heads Argentina into the lead. Bezomar's tackle is straight out of the 16th century. And after the two Cameroonians, he becomes the third player to be sent off for clipping Canige's wings. Another free kick set up Burushaga for Argentina's second. After their shocking start, they were back on course, and a 1-1 draw with Romania took them through to the second round, where they faced a difficult match against their arch rivals, Brazil. matches, Brazil had begun promising. Careca's two confidently taken goals, complete with Demi Latoile, had outgunned Sweden's solitary strike from the promising Thomas Brolin. But against Costa Rica, conquerors of Scotland, the Samba lost its stride in the face of Conejo's gallant goalkeeping. A deflection set up the winner for Müller, but this Brazilian team seemed capable of prose, not poetry. And it was Leighton who composed the requiem in the Scotland match, fumbling Alamar's shot to provide the winner for Müller. Yet Brazil's three straight wins suggested that they'd have the edge on struggling Argentina. Chiellini knew that it would be a hard-fought match, and if it was to be tough on the pitch, it would be tougher still in the South American commentary boxes.
Da esquerda para a direita, da esquerda para a direita, da direita para a esquerda, porque os argentinos, com o ritmo de antes, estavam meio todos em campo. E agora já começam a respirar mais aliviados. Falou Pianet, Catena vai para cima, do branco no fundo, então para Ricardo Rocha. Ele conseguiu muito, ele quer para sempre, fora do terreno.
All the excited chatter could not disguise a substandard Brazilian team. Overly defensive and short of attacking support for the splendid Careca, Brazil had neither the luck nor the skill to get past Argentina's new goalkeeper, Goicoechea, who would soon cease to play like the male model he used to be. Brazil dominated the game for sure, but even the expectations of their own commentators began to flag.
Até agora, pelo menos, o Dunga chutou, chegou duas vezes na Sorão, bateu duas vezes chegando. Então, há revezamento, muito bom. O Val está solto.
And then, in what seemed like a flashback to 1986, Maradona produced a brilliant individual moment to set up Canija for the winning goal. And the commentator for his party piece. Maradona exults in a victory which takes the champions through to the quarterfinals and gives thanks to his sponsor. marched off the field, where their supporters, usually the most flamboyant of all, were upstaged by the lads from Ireland. Dublin plumber Joe McDermott never seemed to stop smiling, except when Puig of Holland scored against them in Palermo. A mixture of homegrown players and Englishmen with Irish relatives, the Ireland team had a no-nonsense approach to football which drew criticism from those wanting more sophisticated style of play. But while they may have lacked the individual brilliance to win games, the Irish, as a team, didn't know how to lose. Their English manager, Jack Charlton, himself a World Cup winner in 1966, had a simple enough formation. 10 defenders, 10 midfield players, 10 forwards, with Paddy Bonner in goal behind them. Jack's boys chased the ball like dogs after a rabbit, and usually got their team into something. Niall Quinn jumps on Van Breukelen fumble and equalises. With 3 straight draws and an identical goals tally, Holland and Ireland both qualified for the second round. But the drawing of lots to define positions left Holland with a short straw up West Germany. Ireland went north to Genoa to face Romania. The Irish fans booked themselves another 2-week sick leave from work. The team cancelled a return flight they booked, checked into the Hotel Scotland no longer required, and stocked up on suntan cream, while Big Jack reversed Bonner for a penalty shootout. Which is exactly how the game was decided after a goalless 120 minutes. Bonner saving the 5th kick on Timofte. Which left veteran defender David O'Leary to put Ireland into the quarter-finals and their fans into ecstasy. Ireland would face the winners of Italy against Uruguay. Now that the tournament had reached the sudden death stage, the referees would come under incredible pressure. The experienced English official George Courtney was put in charge of this potentially volatile match, which promised a stern test of FIFA's new guidelines on fair play.
Ireland through, eh? I've been in this business for so many years now, the adrenaline and the control. I hope it doesn't sound arrogant. We're educated to cope with this sort of stress. But it's during the game it's a different thing, but in preparation, I'm not nervous.
Added to Curtin's problems was the sweltering Roman heat, which made every decision a potential flashpoint. The booking of encroachers at free kicks was one of FIFA's more welcome disciplinary measures. But how do you cope when there are another 22 referees on the pitch? By bravely playing the advantage rule, Courtney allowed Squillaci to score a spectacular goal. But then had the near impossible task of breaking up Italian celebrations with a new wind sweeping the stadium. Throughout the tournament, the referees had to decide which injuries were for real, which were strategically feigned. Fortunately, Italy's second goal from substitute Serena posed no questions. Italy were through to face Ireland, and it had been a good night for the referee too. Italy's win allowed them to stay in Rome for their quarter-final, which pleased one young Italian fan in particular, while leaving his mother worried about the rapidly disappearing wallpaper. A junior player with Roma, Riccardo, had been granted a privilege for which most Italian lads would have given up their mopeds: to be a ball boy at the Olympic Stadium. For some of the Irish fans, going on to Rome meant giving up jobs, wives, homes. A game against Italy and a chance to see the team meet the Pope. This was once-in-a-lifetime stuff. It was not a night for flat caps. And here's Riccardo, a ball boy with stars in his eyes, sitting by the Italian bench in case his country needs him. Roberto Baggio, whose $13 million transfer to Juventus had made him the most expensive player in history, at last seemed secure of a place in what the Italian press called the team of dreams. Donadoni was back from injury, Squillaci was now unchallenged as striker-in-chief. But Ireland had visions of their own glory. Hindered occasionally by a linesman's decision, here McGrath's run is called offside. After 17 minutes, Baggio's sinuous dribble set up Donadoni for a shot Bonner could only parry. And Schillaci pounced again. The Italian press had not been exaggerated. But the Irish were proving to be the most resilient team of Italy and battled back. Italy desperately needed a second goal, and nearly got it from Schillaci's thunderous free kick. Italian Mangiavicini aged by the second. A minute to go, and Schillaci is denied by another dubious offside decision. Italy go through by the narrowest of margins. The Irish are out, but the whole country is queuing up to kiss their feet. And Ricardo gets to pat his hero. Ireland's World Cup may be over, but for St. Jack, his squad, and the fans, the party is just beginning. Time to go home, Joe. Time to go home. Italy's reward was a dubious one. A semi-final against Argentina in Naples, Maradona's adopted city. Maradona had played politics before the game, trying to divide the local support. But it backfired as the Tifosi put patriotism before provincialism. The Italian team feared Maradona as a player. He had taken Napoli to 2 titles. They knew his strengths. He knew their weaknesses. He was the enemy within. Bernardo, the Argentinian manager, was an easy target for the anxiety of the Italian fans. They were already bemused by Vicini's decision to restore Vialli and leave Baggio on the bench. Had the manager forgotten Baggio's astonishing goal against Czechoslovakia? The whole country came to a standstill. And around the world, more than 800 million people tuned in for what promised to be an epic battle of wills.
Ruro rimane lì, rimane stretto sul cassatellone.
Semifinale del campionato del mondo, gara eliminazione diretta tra le nazionali d'Italia ed Argentina.
Italy took the initiative after 17 minutes. Viali's thumping volley is saved, but Schillaci, who scores his 5th goal of the tournament. Schillaci has the eyes of a hawk. Argentina will not grant Schillaci such freedom again. And then they begin to test the referee's judgment. Despite their lead, Italy could not settle. Driven on by Maradona, Argentina began to feed off Italy's anxiety. As the Neapolitan night darkened, so did the match. The level of physical intimidation rose like scum on a tide, and slowly threatened to swamp the match. Gradually, Maradona pushed his team forward. Italy's nerves were shredded when Zenga came for a cross and was beaten by Carnigia's flick. The home of Italy felt a sickening dread. Vicini sent on first Serena and then Baggio to stiffen Italy's resolve. But why not their hard man, Ancelotti? Goicoechea, who grew bigger with each game, saved everything that Italy threw. For both Vicini and Gallardo, the tension is like an ache that will not leave their bodies. 1-1 at full time. Now, there will be 30 minutes more. The mouth of the Italian captain Bergami seems almost dry with fear. Goicoechea saves again from Baggio's curling free kick. The ball is not running for Italy. As the pressure mounts, the undercurrent of violence finally bubbles to the surface. Maggio has been felled off the ball. Monsieur Botreau is obliged to play Monsieur Poirot, and after preliminary investigations, goes to consult his assistant, who fingers number 14, Juski, for the assault. Maradona claims a case of mistaken identity, but offers no new suspects. Argentina's 10 men fall back to their last line of defence, determined to hang on for the penalty shootout. And Argentina duly get their wish. In the quarter-finals, Goicoechea had saved 2 penalties to dismiss Yugoslavia and spare Maradona the humiliation of missing his own spot kick. He walks to his line like a sheriff awaiting a gunfight. After 3 successful penalties each, Donadoni is foiled by the incredible Goicoechea. Can Maradona possibly miss again? The whole of Italy wills it. But, like a street urchin, he pushes a stiletto into the country's heart. Now Serena must hit the target to keep the tie alive. Goicoechea shoots him down. Italy see Naples and die. The shock wave of disappointment must have registered on the Richter scale. Argentina's players celebrate in virtual disbelief at their progress to the final. Belardo hugs his little generalissimo. While Vicini must face the inquest about his substitutions, and perhaps most crucially, why Italy's top scorer, Schillaci, did not take a penalty. The England team prepared to face Cameroon in Naples, knowing the threat they faced from the rugged and enterprising Africans. Yet Gascoigne and Lineker were asserting themselves, showing the understanding they developed at Tottenham. A defeat was unthinkable. And it began to look unlikely when England took a 25th minute lead with the hero of Bologna, David Platt, showing that his goal there was no fluke. If England felt in their heart the match would now be an easy ride, Gascoigne for one wasn't showing it. One 0 down at half-time. Cameroon warmed up their not-so-secret weapon Mila, while England hoped that his new haircut had sapped his strength. But Mila was soon in the thick of the action, winning a penalty by coaxing a rash challenge from Gascoigne. Emmanuel Koundé put Cameroon level. And manager Robson fears the worst. Within 3 minutes, the worst happens. Mila's pass sets up a chance for the other substitute, Ekeke, and it is coolly taken. Undone by complacency, England reeled. But they regained their senses with just 8 minutes remaining. Lineker's speed in the box wins them a lifeline. Despite the enormous tension, Lineker's spot kick is perfect. England are back in the match at 2-2. But then Mark Wright is injured after coming off second best to Mila's shaven head. Lions scent blood. Looking like a latter-day Nelson, Wright returns to the bridge and steers England to the relative safety of extra time. A chance to regroup. Surely the Africans must be weak. The Cameroon is like a nightmare that won't go away. Stephen and Shilton are at full stretch to keep them out. In a pulsating match, it was fitting that Gascoigne, a Cameroonian spirit, should fashion the win, driving England through the suffocating humidity. Thomas Nkono, the hero of '82, is booked for his foul. Lineker, at the point of exhaustion, uses sheer power this time. Three-2 to England. The indomitable Lions are finally beaten. Manager Robson, who once looked on Gascoigne as if he were an exploding cigar, now knows the boy's true quality. But Robson's face registers the relief of a man who has glimpsed the precipice. While Platt and Lineker celebrate their progress to the semi-final, Roger Milla leaves the stage for the last time. Although they said that about him in 1982. He will at least draw comfort from the invitation to Cameroon to play at Wembley. A mark of not just England's respect, but the world's. West Germany approached their quarter-final against Czechoslovakia with typical thoroughness. Like supreme athletes, they knew that their bodies would not let them down, no matter what the Czechs produced. Mateus' penalty gave them an early advantage. And they throttled back power. Sometimes the mind will only let the body do so much. A disappointed Beckenbauer nevertheless allowed his team to go home for a few days' recuperation before facing England in Turin. What memories for Bobby Charlton, a hero of '66. The England fans believed a repeat was possible. The Germans wouldn't hear of it. Beckenbauer seemed confident. Despite having the burden of extra time in their last two games, England started with astonishing energy. Gascoigne testing Eulier's alertness in the opening minutes. As England flowed forward, the Germans needed every ounce of wit to foil them. Eulier's spider's web shirt seemed to turn the ball into a fly. Now Beckenbauer looked anxious. Ronald showed he could match the Germans for technique. A blow for West Germany. The dangerous Fuller quits the field with a leg injury. Riedel takes his place. Amid all the pressure, Gascoigne finds time for fun at the referee's expense. But West Germany have survived the early English assault. Augenthaler's free kick brings the best out of Schick. As the game moved into the second half, the Germans began to look more like the team who started the tournament so brilliantly. Mateos and Häsler took control of midfield to set up a chance for Klum. But Pierce's header reminded them of England's menace. The same player's foul at the other end was to prove decisive. Parker charges and deflects Bremer's shot beyond Shilton for a cruel goal. England spat out its disappointment and fought back. Pierce, who could probably have demolished the Berlin Wall single-handed, reminds the Germans why he's called Psycho. Stephen, an attacking midfielder, comes on for defender Butcher, whose last international is proved to be. Parker now makes amends with a cross that finds the German defence playing hands, knees and bumps-a-daisy. Lineker scores. England are level with 10 minutes left. Extra time. Gaston does his own. Immediately, Klinsmann forces Schulten into a reflex save. The Germans have the edge again. Battling to win the ball, Gascoigne fouls Berto. And finds the referee having a last laugh. His second yellow card means he will now miss the final. Sure he won't get it. Gascoigne is ambushed by despair. Lineker's awareness shows his qualities as a future captain, but will Gascoigne hold himself together? On the stroke of half-time, Germany is saved by the post. And Gascoigne vents his anger at the referee. But when the moment comes, he stands up quickly, has no time for private pain. The team comes first. Platt's offside goal is the last throw of the dice before the roulette. This semi-final too must be settled by a shootout. In this artificial solution, the managers know they are no longer a factor. The real game has been an honourable draw. first 6 penalties are scored with cold-blooded efficiency, 3-3. But then Pierce fires blind. Lineker and club colleague Walker console Pierce. A left turn calmly puts Germany 4-3 ahead. Now Waddle, like Serena of Italy, must score to keep hope alive. West Germany are through to their 3rd successive World Cup final. How could the bookmakers have underestimated them so much? Shilton reflects on an ambition which, after a career of over 20 years, must remain unfulfilled. After the sweat, the tears. England had surpassed even their own expectations and won new respect. And nobody did more to achieve this than Gaza, the boy who became a man. After a few days' mourning, the Italian team awoke to the fact that they no longer had to walk around with bags on their heads. They still had the respect of their people. More immediately, they had the 3rd place playoff against England in Bari, normally a redundant fixture, now a competitive event between 2 teams who had technically not lost any of the 12 games they had played. The shootout victims had more than just wounded pride at stake. After a stylish first half, Italy took the lead with a goal more reminiscent of a kicker run in a pub car park. Baggio got the credit, but Shilton, in his last international, took the blame, while the paparazzi, as ever, took embarrassing photographs. With 10 minutes left, England's Australian-born fullback Dorigo crossed for Platt to score his 3rd goal of the tournament. Extra time would have interfered with the Pavarotti concert in Rome, so Baggio and Schillaci made sure of the result. And Schillaci duly became top scorer for Italia 90. Italy takes 3rd place, while England win FIFA's Fair Play Award. The 2 teams mingled joyously at the close. Having left behind abiding images of their good football, they added another, of brotherhood and mutual respect, 5 years on from Iceland. Beckenbauer prepared for his day of destiny in Rome's Olympic Stadium, looking as though he could still stroll through 90 minutes himself. The German critics who had condemned his appointment had by now backed down. His nation is united behind him. Ricardo the ball boy seems to have booked his seat despite the absence of the Azzurri. For Mateos, a last quiet moment to prepare before the stadium becomes a red-hot crucible. Sunday, the 8th of July. After 51 matches, it now needs only one more to decide who will lift the holy grail of football. West Germany against Argentina is a repeat of the 1986 final in Mexico, but this time, West Germany are favourites. The VIPs gather, including the ill-fated Sheikh Fahad of Kuwait. The trophy gets international police protection. Maradona says his usual prayer. Within a minute, the key notes of the final are sounded. An Argentinian challenge, a German fall, the referee's whistle. It will become a constant refrain. Argentina's record of ill discipline has already lost them 4 key players, Canija included, through suspensions. Manager Bilardo therefore seems intent on a war of attrition. A run by Guido Buchwald is a rare moment of freedom, but the ball is soon held captive again. Each side is willing to exploit challenges to maximum effect. Isla is pulled down as the foul count mounts and the crowd's interest wanes. There is a flash of Maradona's ability to conjure up passes from nowhere. But Argentina's biggest threat of the half comes from Bremer's over-casual back pass. By half-time, the stadium was giving its own verdict. Italian manager Boccini perhaps wishes he had Pavarotti in goal for the shootout and suggests a new anthem after Nessun Dorma. No one shall stay awake. The veteran Litbarski at last sparked some excitement. And Bremer's free kick confirms West Germany's growing ascendancy. Maradona runs around like a mouse in a maze. Without support, he can do nothing. He is a dictator without an army, fielding his own downfall. His last few followers shriek for his protection, and an increasingly vulnerable referee obliges. Alcantara attempts the same kind of persuasion. Unable to produce decisive action themselves, both sets of players seem intent on pressurizing the Mexican referee for a breakthrough. Monzon's wild lunge on Klinsmann does the trick. The Argentinian defender becomes the first player ever to be sent off in a World Cup final. With a numerical advantage, West Germany at last finds space to get Mateus forward. His pass is taken by Furler, who falls as Sensini challenges. Penalty. The Argentinian protest borders on bodily harm. Goycochea has performed miracles saving penalties. Does he have one more save in his repertoire? He guesses right, but Bremer's kick is a beauty, escorted home by 1,000 fresh bulbs. The West German Chancellor celebrates modestly. With only 6 minutes left, Argentina becomes desperate to hang on to its crown. Gazzotti thinks Kohler is wasting time and exacts retribution. The referee has no choice but to dismiss him. The game has descended into a chaotic spectacle, but it seems symbolic after Argentina's 21 bookings and 3 sendings off that the last yellow card should be for Maradona himself. Klinsmann has a last-minute chance for a spectacular finish, but the Roman gods have turned their thumbs down on this game. The world can at least take consolation that the best team in the competition has won.
You only have to press it once, not so many times.
On this summer's football with Quick. Right now at Quick, join and bet £10 and you'll get £40 in free bets. Plus, your bet could be instantly boosted to bigger odds. We call it a supercharged bet. Get more bang for your bet. Download the app or visit quick.com. 18 plus new customers only. £10 bet at minimum 2.0 odds within 5 days to get 4 £10 free bets with 7-day expiry. T&Cs apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Cheers there, boys, eh? Nickety, New York! Come on, play up the Town Army! Newsflash! If you're anti-Mary as a Canadian up the line of the bronze, you have to calm down. You're listening to Scotland's World Cup campaign on Top Sport! Oh, now, right, well, if I was listening to anything else. Get in amongst them.
You are listening to the World Cup weekend here at Top Sport. Me, Majestic, Alan Partridge and Kevin Hatchett. Of course, you're going to be here for the Sunday. A bit later on, but they've assembled us together for the World Cup, and I'm really enjoying the show, chaps. Good show. Yeah, it's good. I think memories to current things. Absolutely, indeed. And of course, we are very looking forward to England then later in the week.
Let's hope we're looking forward to it.
Now, I'm looking for, of course,
We look forward to it. We might not look back on it in a positive way, but we hope we will.
well, like I said, in recent years, we've been spoiled with England, because as you're saying, your son didn't even realise that England didn't qualify.
Lewis minds that there were tournaments we hadn't qualified for. I've reminded him that, USA 94 didn't make it, 2008 didn't make it. So yeah, he couldn't get his head around that. Well, there's always qualified.
I was 13 when Emily Hughes misses the tackle on the halfway line against Poland.
Oh, yes.
Tomaszewski again.
And when we get beat,
everything.
yeah, when he made about 4 good saves, yeah. But when we get beat 1-0, I mean, that was a national disaster. That was the first time ever, of course, we didn't qualify. Oh, it was painful.
Well, yeah, 94 was the first World Cup I properly remember, and of course England not being there, but I have such fond memories of 94. As you said, I think the kits, Campbell's kit for Mexico, the keeper, that he designed himself.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. I don't know why it sticks in my memory so much, but going into school with the soft sponge ball when you play football, trying to be Stoichkov and Lechkov.
Yeah.
Bulgaria really set the tournament on fire, didn't they?
Romania as well.
Yes.
The country's quality in that tournament. It was brilliant. It's great fun. That was when VHS came into its own. You couldn't watch the games.
Correct.
There's a friend of mine.
Is he really?
Yeah, because he was like CSK Sofia, which I worked for as technical director for a while. He was a massive fan of theirs, so he used to come to the games.
What a ball.
What a player he was. Barcelona.
That Bulgarian team was the best Bulgarian team of all time.
Oh, that by some distance, yeah. Natalie Sawyer's talking for it.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Natalie's Bulgarian.
Yeah.
Or half Bulgarian. Well, I think actually she's a third Bulgarian. I think she's got other things going on.
That's how I always break the ice with Bulgarian people. I think is about World Cup '94 or give us up overtime.
Not Natalie Lynch.
No, not Natalie. Well, I'll throw that into the mix now as well. But yeah, again, when we talk about iconic World Cup moments, have you got any World Cup moments you want to share? 037172234, and of course, Kev, we're looking for some moments of this World Cup. What's so far been probably the standout moment for you? For me, it's got to be the USA's performance.
Yeah, that was quite surprising to me, I have to say, because only because they had so many players who you wondered about them fitness-wise, you wondered about them form-wise. Pulisic, I thought, was great in the first half. I mean, he was part of the Milan team that completely fell out of contention for the title, so much so that he didn't qualify for the Champions League. And I think the last club goal he scored, or the last Serie A goal he scored, was December. So he obviously came off at half-time, but I thought he had some nice touches. McKennie played really well, but it was the overall energy with and without the ball. They looked well organised. I think on the flip side of that, I thought Paraguay were dreadful.
Very bad.
I thought they were really poor, and I think the occasion felt like it got to them, made a bad start. But Balogun, who's been lights out for Monaco for months now, he's been playing really, really well in quite an up-and-down team. He looked really sharp.
Yeah. Well, off air, I was talking about it did look like a Poch performance, and he's already rolling his eyes.
I knew this was coming back to Spurs. I knew you was going to get back to your mate Poch, your lover.
No, that was the three up front team. Like
Does your wife know you've got this gay kind of icon that you love?
Listen, he's a handsome man from Argentina, and I still hold him with Irish.
I was surprised when I woke up and see that result, because I actually tipped the United States not to do very well. So I was surprised at that performance. I'm pleased for Poch though, that he has got a performance out of what is probably average thing. I don't think they're brilliant in any certain, purely as you're saying, is not for me at all. So I still think they've got work to do, but the way the Americans are, and I've managed a few Americans, and they always like brilliant trainers, brilliant characters, they're winners. So when you got a dressing room full of them, you got a chance.
Well, I spoke to US journalist Brian Sierretta the other about this USA side, and he said, to be honest, it's a bit of a mystery of what they're going to be like. We don't, because it's been all over the place so far in the setup for it. That is going to really shut up some of the doubters that Poch had going into this competition.
They needed a good start, I think, to get a bit of momentum. I think one of the allegations that's kind of been put to them was, would they run through brick walls for Pochettino? How much do they really want this? They're good. There are some good individual players there who've got Premier League experience, who've got experience of big European clubs. As a unit, how much do they really want this? Can they actually rise to the occasion? That is a great start. The test is going to be what happens when they play much better teams than Paris.
Listen, the test will be, this will be, you know, if America are doing well, Trump will turn up. Because at the moment, he's keeping very quiet about the national team.
And he'll stay awake, because he fell asleep at the NBA finals. That'll be the test. Will he be there and will he stay awake?
It's getting around the world. Someone who's not been falling asleep in America because we've been so busy is TalkSport's chief football correspondent, Alex Cook, who joins the show. How are you, Cookie? Wet. Well, tell us why. What's been going on? It's been a bit rainy there, right?
Yeah, we were just doing a hit for the S Word, one of TalkSport's YouTube shows about half an hour ago. And it absolutely bucketed down towards the end of the interview. So I'm joining you on Zoom because the camera hasn't taken well to the race. So I'm actually soaked. The camera's absolutely soaked. Apart from that, we're looking forward to Germany against Curacao, which is going to take place in the Houston Stadium just behind me.
Absolutely. Set the scene for us, Cookie. What's around? What's going on? Are the German fans out in force?
Yeah, there were quite a few out and about in Houston last night, obviously watching all the other games. We watched Scotland-Haiti in a bar that was absolutely rammed. Then we watched Australia destroy Turkey. I was really disappointed with Turkey, but I have to say, speaking to Germany fans, they're not overly optimistic about their chances of going deep into this tournament. I think particularly they're worried about the defence. Jonathan Tah, as everyone knows, hasn't had the best of seasons at Bayern Munich, so I think they've got some quality going forward. But a lot of the fans I spoke to actually predicted that England would go further in this World Cup than Germany, which almost unheard of.
Yeah, it's really interesting, that, Crookie, actually, because I think what Nagelsmann's had to do is kind of rebuild the interest and the kind of connection with the fans, because there was a spell not that long ago when there was a Germany game on television and it got beaten in the ratings by the German version of the anti-Croatia. So that kind of gives you an idea of kind of where it was at. And I think that Euros was really important for them on the home soil, because it wasn't just about how far they got and they lost to Spain in the end. Obviously Spain went on to win it. It was the fact they played attractive football and they kind of got the German public interested again. But it's one thing to get them interested, it's another to get them to really believe this team can win it. And I think there are question marks over this team. They could be anything. If they click, they could be absolutely brilliant to watch. I can't see them winning at all.
No. Cookie, well, I've got you as well, because you are the goat of transfers, and my Spurs have been mentioned quite a bit. Anything for us, any news?
I think that young Paul Van Hector deal from Brighton will get done. We know Paul Harbour told us exclusively on TalkSport that 2 bids have been rejected for the Dutchman. Obviously, he kicks off his World Cup campaign against Japan, which I think will be a really intriguing game over in Dallas this afternoon. Brighton holding out for a fee, I'm told, in the region of £70 million, which is a lot when you think he's only got a year left on his contract. But I think if you're a Tottenham fan, you should be encouraged by the fact Roberto De Zerbi's building from the back. Obviously, Andy Robertson, who started the tournament so well for Scotland last night, has been signed. Marcus Senesi, a late call-up for Argentina, and now Van Hector. I think De Zerbi has realised that the main reason Tottenham have struggled for the last couple of seasons in the Premier League is because they did too many goals.
Absolutely, Crookie, thank you so much for joining us, and get yourself a brownie, mate. Next up on the World Cup weekend, we take a closer look at what could be a barnstormer as Belgium face Egypt.
Who cares if it's basic? You deserve that little green drink with the cream. So go on. Get the new vanilla matcha frappe from our all-new McCafe summer drinks range. Now at McDonald's. Available until the 13th of July. Price and participation may vary. Frappes not available on delivery, subject to availability.
The wall chart is up, the retro shirt is out, and the car flags are ready for duty. The familiar roller coaster of supporting England is here again. At Virgin Bet, we're strapped in for the ride with you, and we're adding to the excitement. Get a bet builder on every single England World Cup game. Virgin Bet, a good bet. Bet value 1 to £20. Min 3 selections. Odds evens. Min £10 cash bet in June to qualify. Full terms apply. Gamcare.org.uk. 18 plus.
It's the biggest football tournament ever this summer, and the Summer World Cup for it. Are you? Are you up for following midnight kickoffs during midnight feeds? And in-depth analysis wherever you are. Are you up for expert takes and the glass off this road? If your knowledge of Duracell's midfield is unsurpassed, are you up for the biggest World Cup ever, all in one place? Get the Sun for the latest updates, reports and analysis round the clock. The Sun will World Cup for it. Sunny spells in 3, 2, 1. Pop to Co-op. Get any 2 packs of 100% British barbecue favourites for £6.50. Like smashed burgers and sweet chilli chicken kebabs. Co-op. Owned by you, right by you.
N6 of October selected products subject to availability. Co-op group food stores only. Full times at co.uk/summer.
Somewhere, overlooking the Med, there's a bar with no sign out front. The kind of place where you could all sit for hours, watch the sea on the horizon, and football on the telly. This summer, find a beautiful game in beautiful places with O2, the only major network that lets everyone roam freely in the EU up to 25 gig. O2, essential for living.
Bolt-on required if limit exceeded. Terms apply. See order.co.uk/terms.
Amazon Prime Day is from the 23rd to the 26th of June. These deals are so appealing. Like portable steamers for steaming. Whoa. Did you just see? I think I'm breaking into so big deals on air fryers, vacuums and skincare. I can't stop singing.
Get big deals this Prime Day, the 23rd to the 26th of June, exclusively for Prime members. Join Prime.
A safe bet with Tilt is a lot like a great race. It's about understanding your limits, staying on track, and knowing when to pull up. With our range of responsible gambling tools, like deposit limits and reality checks, will help you stay in the saddle. Visit tilt.co.uk/safer-gambling. Bet responsibly, Tilt away. T's and C's apply. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org. Talk Sport News.
A very good afternoon. You're listening to Talk Sport. With the news headlines, I'm Amelia Bartrow. Ukrainian president thanked the UK for intercepting a Russian Shadow Fleet oil tanker in the English Channel. British forces boarded the vessel during a 6-hour operation last night, the first UK-led action of its kind. Now, Simon Robinson's had his phone seized at Heathrow Airport. The far-right activist was detained under anti-terrorism laws yesterday. Now, reports say the government's expected to drop a target for electric vehicles after pressure from the motor industry. EVs should represent 80% of new car sales by 2030, but it's thought it could be reduced to 50%. And a throwback to the 80s is sweeping supermarkets and restaurants alike. There's been a huge surge in demand for foods such as prawn cocktail, beef bourguignon, pavlova and bread and butter pudding. The craze is thought to be driven in part by Jilly Cooper's rival series returning to TV screens.
Talk sport.
Is the pressure off Scotland now? And Croatian Don Vekic has beaten Emma Raducanu at Queen's.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Talk Sport. Well, they'll be playing in New Jersey, Boston and Philly, Kansas City, also where you'll see Toronto and the city of Mexico. Dallas, Santa Clara, and Guadalajara, Houston, Seattle, San Francisco, ain't you? Get hip to this World Cup tip, alright. And come and take the Talk Sport trip. Oh yeah, get your kicks and World Cup 2026. Sensational. Talk Sport, the only place to hear all 104 World Cup games live. So hit the road, Jack. Talk Sport. It's Game On World Cup Weekender with Matt, Puff, and Kev Hatchard.
That's right, here's the World Cup Weekender with MPH. That's our nickname. Lampard and Hatch. MPH. Right, I want to waste no time because we are now joined by this England legend.
Everything gravitating out towards Leno whenever England can. Try and stretch the game. Beckham right-footed ball in. Crouch in the far post! Thank goodness for that! Peter Crouch scores for England! 7.5 minutes to go! Ball in from Beckham. Crouch is there at the far post. England don't really deserve it, but in the World Cup, you so often don't get what you deserve. And if you're given a huge slice of luck, don't look that giggles in the mouth. England 1, Trinidad and Tobago 0.
Right, it's time to turn our attention, of course, to England, and joining us is former England striker Peter Crouch. How are we, Crouchy?
Matt, oh, tonight.
Where were you?
Savannah.
Granted, I can't even tell you how I feel, honestly. It's a bizarre world I'm in at the moment. I'm in a vineyard in California.
Why not? Why not?
Love it. Has the World Cup fever hit America yet?
Yeah, mate, I was at the USA game the other day.
Good game.
What a game, and what an atmosphere. You know, like, you don't know what the atmosphere is going to be like. But that stadium, like the SoFi Stadium, was just phenomenal. We went down this escalator into like the kind of ground below the ground level. It's amazing, and there was just it was mad, and they were good. Like,
yeah, in terms of, I wanted to ask you about strikers actually, Crouchy, because we talked a lot about Harry Kane. We've talked about just how well he's done for Bayern in the last few years from from an England point of view. What shape is he in going into the tournament? How important do you think it is that he hasn't had to play every minute of every game for Bayern in the last couple of months? He goes into it a little bit more fresh.
I think that's massive for him, you know, like he comes in and you just think he's completely kind of been flogged over the course of the season in so many games. I think this time, because Bayern have kind of, had it wrapped up, really, and the fact that he's had that little bit of rest, he's also had the winter break, remember, as well. I think quite often, that is a huge problem for him in the summer, and I think, going into it now, I think he'll be open to firing.
Crouchy, I was going to say as well, of course, we've been waiting until Wednesday for the England game. Having that bit more time with your teammates in a camp and sort of really settling in, how good is that for England? Is that a proper positive for us, that having extra time? Because I've heard some of the lads talking about it feels like a bit of a different camp this time, and they all sound like they're in really good spirits.
Yeah, I think that's important. And also getting used to the climate. Obviously, they've been in the hottest part. I mean, like, we're in California at the moment, and the kind of the feel is not, it's not humid, it's not hot, but they're playing in like, you know, the real heat down in Florida. And I think that's going to stand in good stead for the tournament. They're playing in kind of the toughest conditions. If they've done that when it comes to kind of LA, where we are now, it doesn't feel that too dissimilar to a kind of British summer. It's not too bad, so I think that will stand in good stead. And the fact they're training together, they all look in good spirit. They all look like they get on, and I think it's a good game.
I want to Crouchy, just touch your memory bank as set plays, right? Because I think this England team, when I look at them on paper, could possibly be the strongest set play team in this tournament, which might be crucial. I mean, when you played for England, did you always feel like if we have a set play, I'm going to score? Did you always have that kind of confidence?
It's because we, you know, let's be honest, right? Half part of our DNA, in general, over the course of years that we've always got home. And look at the Premier League now, we'll talk about it. But not just that, we've always had players that live. David Beckham, right foot was they could put it on a sixpence from anywhere, so why not utilise that? Players like Reece, Terry, myself, could attack. You know, why not utilise that? And I think sometimes, you know, when you play back about Mike Cole in the 2006 World Cup there, and the commentary makes me laugh. Herbert, you know, but we get Stevens sitting there with the 3 points, you know, playing well, and one set.
I think Crouchy's line isn't the best, but I think he's alluded to the fact that, yeah, as England, we've always had someone that can...
And the point he was making about David Beckham's delivery, of course, we have with Rice, where his delivery is exceptional. I mean, even when I go back over the years of England teams, I can't think, other than prospects, anyone better than Rice's delivery.
Let's see if we can try and get Crouchy back up for one more, because I want to ask him before we talk about the camp and how they're being settled in. Crouchy, who out of that England camp do you reckon is playing Eggy Boss?
They're all playing. If they're not, they should be. It's the top game. You know about it, Madge. Let me tell you one thing as well, what I'm doing here. Have a look. Can you see this behind me?
What's going on? Explain it for those that are listening to TalkSport as well, Crouchy.
I've just been up in a hot air balloon, giant pair of pants and Paddy Powell. That's my life become.
Crouchy, it's always a pleasure to hear from you, my friend. Are we going to win the World Cup?
The TalkSport listeners, yes.
For those that are watching on YouTube, your face is ill. Thank you very much for being the striker there, Peter Crouch, who's doing something crazy with Paddy Powell, as it always is.
It's just a big pair of pants and a hot air balloon, of course. Just a normal afternoon, right?
Do you know about Eggy Boss, Bob?
No idea. I thought it was some sort of flan that you have for dessert.
It's a game the players used to play with one another. Peter Crouch is sort of seen as the guy that really made it popular.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's still going now, isn't it?
Still going to this day. It's been passed on through generations for the change routes now.
I've had a few buses where, you know, the whole unit is coming out, the whole, like, game unit, you know, what the hell's that? It's like a big boogie box. I used to say, oh, come on, Gaffer, it's like, you know.
Well, let's head over to Tom Clayton, because I believe the F1's finished.
It has indeed, and it's the first victory in Scarlet for Lewis Hamilton. He drove an absolute stormer today to win by 20 seconds in a masterclass of strategy. George Russell came in second as a late engine failure dramatically cut short the race of championship leader Kimi Antonelli, whose 5-race win streak is over, so he has to retire with 4 laps to go. Lando Norris took advantage of the Antonelli retirement to come home in a respectable third. It's been 686 days, though, since Lewis Hamilton last won a Grand Prix. That was back in Belgium in 2024. Today he adds to his record tally of race wins as he hits 106 career victories. Next up we go to the Styrian Hills as Formula 1 goes to the Austrian Grand Prix.
Little round of applause and ripple for Lewis Hamilton, because, you know, he's had to, like, go the depths. You know, his car's not been good enough, he's changed teams, blah blah blah. He's had to fight his way back to the top of the tree, and that was a marvellous masterful performance from him. Brilliant. I'm so pleased for him. Lewis Hamilton, one of our great sportsmen. Yeah.
Big 71722, incredible coming up on the World Cup weekend. We'll be giving you our World Cup predictions. It's Madge, Mars and Hatch, aka MPH. Some of it's more like HMP, and it's still sports.
At Betfair, we know nothing is certain in football. Maybe Scotland are the real dark horses. Maybe Neymar will prove there's life again. Or maybe Germany will show hard work beats talent. Everyone's got an opinion. Back yours with a completely free bet on Access or Bet Builders across the first 4 days of the World Cup. Betfair.
Maximum free bet there is £2 to £10. Minimum odds 1.53 plus legs. Previous deposit required. Exclusions, eligibilities and T's and C's apply. 18 plus Canada.org.
On Sean Dyche, I've teamed up with Aqua to share a credit-building game plan. 1. Avoid giving away a penalty. Missing a payment can cost you, so stay on the ball, pay on time, and keep your finances in play. 2. Find a coach. When building credit, you're not playing alone. With Aqua, you can get the support you need to reach your goals. Search Aqua Card and get that better credit feeling.
Representative 39.9% APR variable credit issued by New Day Limited, 18 or over, UK only, subject to status, terms apply.
When your football team has support, guidance and structure, they can find their game. Same goes for teams online. That's why TikTok has over 50 preset safety and privacy settings for teams. Built-in safeguards that create a better experience from the start. Accounts for teams all start private, and for those under 16, there are no direct messages, and only friends can comment on their videos. So, safeguards are in place, and teams are free to discover and grow. Learn more at tiktok.com/team-safety.
When you're growing a small business, whether you've built a team of 20 or you're a one-man band, you need someone who understands the ins and outs. With an HSBC small business banking account, you'll have access to our business specialists, in person and virtually, as well as no monthly account fee, because whatever your small business looks like, we're proud to support you. Search HSBC Small Business Banking Account to get started. Subject to eligibility, credit checks and TCCs. Visit business.hsbc.co.uk for details. Hard to ignore, isn't it? BYDs are everywhere. Join over 4 million drivers who chose BYD last year. At our BYD Summer Sales event, get up to £1,000 deposit contribution plus 0% APR on selected models on orders placed from the 18th to the 21st of June. Book your test drive at byd.com/UK or visit your local BYD. T&Cs apply. Private registrations purchased during the event are registered by 30th of September.
At Bet365, we want to help you make every moment extraordinary. That's why we make it easy to change things up. You can take a time out, set up reality checks, and set your limits. Because when you make the most of the moments without us, it means you can enjoy the moments with us. When you play safe with Bet365. 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Visit gambleaware.org.
Official broadcasters of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Live. Full coverage of today's game. Germany versus Curacao. Kickoff at 6 p.m. Followed by Netherlands versus Japan. Kickoff 9 p.m. The 2026 FIFA World Cup. Live on Talk Sport.
It is the World Cup weekend here at Talk Sport with the majestic Experienced Premier League manager Alan Pardew and as everyone here in football, Kevin Hatchard. It's been a great show, guys. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it thoroughly myself. Giving you more World Cup things. I thought about it. Japan and Netherlands, definitely looking forward to that later on. Well, it's normally on a Sunday we set into the show. See, what are you up to the weekend? How was your weekend? What are you been up to? Very, very good.
Friday I was with Hilton Food, and guests of theirs. They did a brilliant event at the Grove. Glenn Potter was there. Glenn, who give his tips out on various things.
You heard my Glenn impression?
No, but what's your Glenn impression?
Just the player. The players. He says the players. That's it. Just the players.
Like to be there.
Yeah.
Really sound like Glenn. But he was in good form, Glenn. Nice to see him in good form.
Of course, former England manager, World Cup 98.
Of course. When Bex did the back hip thing, whatever it was. I've got an apology to make, by the way, because it wasn't meant to use Norman Hunter. I get that out of the way before I get a million texts about, getting it completely wrong.
Oh, earlier on, yeah.
Yeah, but it was Norman Hunter who should have made the tackle, and I you know, going back to the England performances in the past, it's only in recent years, and we're kind of got to get our memory banks going here. We never used to qualify. We never used to get out of the group. We struggled. Oh, we never used to get qualified. Now we're like, oh, semi-final, final, da 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 da. So let's make sure, let's hope, I should say, not let's make sure, let's hope that we stick to this like semi-final regime that we got going on final, or maybe even win it.
Absolutely. Kev, what games are you working on? Because I know you're going to have some late nights, early mornings.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Iran, New Zealand, which is going to be just an extraordinary story, really, because it's become a real news story, of course, with
a little bit,
you know, just a little bit. You know, we didn't know if Iran were actually going to be able to participate.
So we might have a peace plan in action, actually, by the time that kicks off. Let's hope so.
Yeah, so that's going to be, it's got an extraordinary background to it. I'm really looking forward to Germany, Ivory Coast. I think it's going to be a really important game and a really entertaining game, I think.
Clash of styles there.
Cape Verde, Saudi, that's going to be fun, because that could be a huge game for both of them. You know, desperately trying to get those 3 points that might take them through. Jordan, Argentina, I'm looking forward to as well. It's going to be a belter, because huge for Jordan. We don't know whether Argentina will need it to maybe win the group. That's towards the end. So, yeah, some really big games I'm looking forward to.
So many games.
I've got to go back to F1 because we've got an all-British podium.
For the first time since
1968, right? So today we've got Lewis 1, Williams 2nd, Norris 3rd. But 1968 would have been a good quiz, right? Would have been a good quiz, and only a real petrolhead would have got this. But the winner, I'm going to tell them anyway, because it will drive people mad. Jackie Stewart won, Graham Hill was 2nd, John Surtees was 3rd in 1968. So the British podium today, well done with the boys. It was a diva. And he was a legend, by the way. He was a proper, real good person.
We heard how many games Phil's looking after. Wow, we have to do a lot of homework for that. Don't forget
A lot of late nights.
All games you can catch
Sleep patterns
on the Talk Sports network, on the app, Talk Sport and Talk Sport. So we've got every single game.
Amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it?
I was talking to some people on Friday at this golf event about, you know, how Talk Sport kind of works around it, you know, sort of change all the shows a little bit during the day, because obviously a lot of the big hitters who do the day shows have gone out to the World Cup, and we've got this kind of, it's like a new, we've got to get into a new regime, and you've got to listen through the night.
Yeah.
It's going on all night, haven't we? We're on all night.
24-hour
banging away. Some of the highlights will be later on. No, this is a particular highlight.
And of course, as I said, it doesn't matter which team you're backing in the World Cup and supporting. We want to hear your calls on 03717 223344. That is the number. Now, guys, quickly, we mentioned when we was in for White and Jordan the other day about the sort of players of the tournament, the breakout players, etc. You know, especially after that call from Danny, the Liverpool fan was, I really am looking for a big tournament from Harry Kane, Kevin. I think this is, you know, it's potentially his last tournament, but knowing Harry, he's such a professional, he's
probably not.
If Harry Kane is the golden boot and performs at the highest level, does that
mean Sir Harry Kane?
Yeah, does that mean England could win the World Cup? Does he need to be the guy that performs, or is there other elements?
No, I think he does. I think he's going to be a central figure for England. I do think they're in a group of teams that can win it. You look at Spain, you look at France. I think England aren't far off that level.
Is he the best striker in the World Cup?
See, I always lean towards Mbappe personally, and I know he's not pure centre forward per se, but Mbappe is the one I look forward to watching the most. And I think I understand the bad press that he gets. I understand that people don't think he works without the ball and the stats to back that up, because he doesn't. So he's very different to Kane. But if you're looking at a pure number 9, he's got to be right up there. But Haaland, as Alan says, I mean, what a phenomenal player. He is very different to Kane, very different in the way that he plays. But he's already Norway's record scorer. He's got an average of better than a goal a game at international level, Haaland. It's just beyond belief. I mean, these numbers are absolutely crazy and have been for a long time. I think he could be a World Cup of strikers. I think you look around and there are some real top players.
Right, you ready for what I really want to hope? This is what I kind of like. I want to go to bed tonight. It's what I dream of tonight. Right. World Cup final is England against Spain. Right, well, I think it's going to be the start of the World Cup, you know, right? Gets a hat-trick, like Napoli did last World Cup. England win 4-3. Harry gets the couple. Bellingham gets it 1. Rodgers gets them out. Fourthly.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. That's what I want to happen.
Well,
It could happen.
The interesting thing, you said it there about, it used to be that England's, I remember growing up, England wouldn't necessarily get out of groups or qualify at all, or had a horrible, one of the Euros against Romania had a terrible result, didn't get out of the group.
Was the Iceland game?
The Iceland game, well, that's the nadir, right? That's the real low point, because you had top-class players, couldn't play with all 5 yards. It felt like that fear of playing for England had really gripped them. I think Gareth Southgate deserves a huge amount,
absolutely,
an enormous amount of credit, because
doesn't get enough credit.
I know people...
He'll come, though. He'll come. I think time plays a part in that.
I think he's completely changed the mindset. I think he's completely changed how some players approach playing for England. And the fact that now he's raised that bar and we are talking about semi-finals, finals, winning the thing, that's a big mindset. And I always think about when people talk about France and they talk about Didier Deschamps, and he's only won one World Cup. Only won one World Cup. At international level, your job is to put those players in position to win things. And he's done that time and time again. That's all you can do. Yes, you can make tweaks, in-game. Yes, you can help your team that way. But that's what Deschamps has done. And had the margins been slightly different the other way, they would have won back-to-back World Cups.
Yeah, there's many managers who have won trophies, etc., who have purely been on the back of great players.
Yeah.
And that happens. But I mean, what Gareth done has changed the perception of how the fans reacted to the team.
He made me fall back in love with England. Right. Because after that Iceland game,
that's huge.
And forget about just the general fan, which you are like me, right? I'm talking about the media, the professional media. He brought them back into play as well. They got a respect. They got treated properly. That was reflected in their coverage. The fans got respect for the team and their performances, and that's what Gareth's real credentials are. In my opinion, he changed all of that. And now we go into this tournament, we've got a positive feel, got a German manager. I mean, wow, who would have thought that 20 years ago?
Sorry, best winning.
Well,
yeah,
that's winning.
But he knows that. I think the interesting thing about Tuchel is he knows that. He came in and he went, I want to put a second star on the shirt.
But you've got to remember, World Cups produce memories, right? And I think, this tournament is going to be Lamine Yamal's tournament. I genuinely believe he is ready to take the mantle off of the Messis and the Ronaldo.
Well, this is the changing of the guard tournament, isn't it? Because this is going to be Ronaldo and Messi's last, Neymar's last, etc. It might be Kevin De Bruyne's last. The players that, especially Neymar, Messi, and Ronaldo, as that trio, they have defined a generation of football, and this is the last time we're going to get to see them. And I firmly believe that even Neymar being part of that Brazilian setup is probably, for that alone, even with just having that name there.
Well, what an impact he could make, what an impact player. I don't think he'll start because of, he's had injuries, etc. But 10-15 minutes he could turn the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would warrant his squad selection. If he came on loans with a winner or something like that.
It's so exciting. We've had the games already, but there's still so much to come because of how many teams are in this. Are you enjoying the new format with the extra teams?
I don't like 48. I think it's a bit unwieldy. If you're going to go all the way and have 64 and that way, I don't like.
know the answer to this question. The next tournament is less though, is it right? Is that right? Or is the next World Cup?
No, but the next could be more. It's still.
Oh, okay.
And it's across loads of different countries as well, because we're going to Uruguay for a bit because it's the centenary one. So it is possible that they'll go 64 because that's what you're trying to do. You're doing a hell of a lot of football to get down to the last 32. But what I do love, Curacao in it. That's great. They're the smallest nation ever to have qualified. I mean, that's wonderful for them. Cape Verde are in it. Haiti played with such pride, I thought, in Scotland. And quality at times as well. Some great deliveries into the box, just couldn't put it away. So there are great stories. And that's what this World Cup's about, right? Diego Gomez for Paraguay bursting into tears in the middle of his press conference because he's so proud that he was going to play for Paraguay at World Cup. That's what it's really about. That's the
And we haven't, I mean, Australia beat Turkey, which was an upset, but we haven't had a really, really big upset, which is coming.
Yeah. Guys, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great show. It's fun, though.
Great timing. They put us on 1 till 4 every day. I'd be quite happy.
Don't forget the Netherlands take on Japan. It's live at Talksport from 9 p.m. But follow us if you lose across largely under the informing the defender Martin Keane as they bring you Germany against Curacao, as you mentioned. This has been the World Cup weekend on Talksport, and don't go anywhere as we will bring you all the wall-to-wall World Cup action here on the Talksport Network.
Morning, Trent. Guys.
Steve, I don't like to say this, but I've met someone else.
Sorry.
Yeah.
eating an orange from the stars.
It just gives me everything you can't. Extra work from big brands whenever I want it, fits around my schedule, pays quick, and when I need parts, one online order, one delivery, next day to sign and
Dave, we just sell you buyers.
Don't make this harder than it already is, Steve. Spend less time at the merchants and more time on the tools with Zeno. Download the Zeno app today. More jobs, less faff, more power in your hands.
The wall chart is up, the retro shirt is out, and the car flags are ready for duty. The familiar roller coaster of supporting England is here again. At Virgin Bet, we're strapped in for the ride with you, and we're adding to the excitement. Get a bet builder on every single England World Cup game. Virgin Bet, a good bet. Bet value £1 to £20. Min 3 selections, odds, evens. Min £10 cash bet in June to qualify. Full terms apply. Gamcare.org.uk. 18 plus.
Get iPhone 17 in the Vodafone Business Summer Sale. iPhone 17 is built for business with all-day battery life and the powerful A19 chip for fast, efficient performance. Experience it all on the best network for business and save £300. Hurry, offer ends the 22nd of July. Vodafone Business.
Businesses with up to 9 employees only, based on iPhone 17 and 24-month unlimited airtime plan. Best network is awarded at the Mobile Industry Awards. Saving calculated over the first 6 months.
The new Burger Buddies Actual Barbecue features 3 snackable icons: the Whopper, Big King, and Barbecue Steakhouse burgers. Perfect for you and 2 best friends. As for your 3rd best friend, the one who lent you their season ticket when they moved abroad, well, they could have given it to their own dad, the man who clothed them, bathed them, gave them life, but no, he chose you. Well, try to break it through gently. The new Burger Buddies box from Burger King, made for sharing. Sort of.
Amazon Prime Days from the 23rd to the 26th of June. These deals are so appealing. Like portable steamers for steaming. Whoa. Did you just sing? I think I'm breaking into song. Big deals on air fryers, vacuums and skincare. I can't stop singing.
Get big deals this Prime Day, the 23rd to the 26th of June, exclusively for Prime members. Join Prime.
Tonight we score.
We don't do soccer songs. At William Hill, we just stick to what we do best. Pack a boost, now including doubles and trebles every World Cup match day. On app and in shop. William Hill, nothing but the best. 2 plus leg football, like a boost and selected markets online and in shops. With Ultra Max Boost limits and T's and C's apply. 18 plus gamble aware.
From the dugout in Dallas to the last goal in LA.
Official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026. That's fun! Talk Sport. Sports updates. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And whatever it is, we're here for it.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Sport. The sports headlines. I'm Leah Beltran. Lewis Hamilton has claimed his first win for Ferrari with a stunning victory at the Barcelona Catalunya Grand Prix. It says title leader Kimi Antonelli suffered a late retirement. Tom Clayton was watching for us.
With Hamilton cruising to the win, it was between the 2 Mercedes for second, but as Antonelli had just stolen second off Russell, his engine gave in, and his race was done, as was his string of 5 consecutive Grand Prix wins. With Hamilton's convincing win, the gap at the top of the standings has been slashed to just 41 points.
Next, Croatian Donna Vekic has beaten Emma Raducanu in the final at Queen's in straight sets. The British #1 had been hoping to claim her first trophy since the US Open nearly 5 years ago, but her successful run at the tournament has boosted her chances of being seeded for Wimbledon, which starts 2 weeks tomorrow. Now, Steve Clark says the pressure's off Scotland after their win over Haiti. They took Group C after their first victory at the World Cup in 36 years. Shabana said Scotland shouldn't be getting ahead of themselves, though.
England have this expectation to try and get to quarter-final or semi-final and win the damn thing. We had an expectation just to try and get there. And then, obviously, our expectations, those are happy, just hoping that it was going to be a 3-0 win, that we should not do that.
Meanwhile, England get going against Croatia on Wednesday, and Crouchy reckons Bayern Munich managing Harry Kane's minutes throughout the season will be a massive boost to their tournament hopes.
Usually he comes in and you just think he's completely kind of been flogged over the course of the season in so many games. But I think this one, just Bayern kind of, had it wrapped up really, and progress. It looks like the win for Brighton.
Later today, though, TalkSport will bring you Germany versus Curacao and the Netherlands versus Japan. Ukrainian president thanked the UK for intercepting a Russian shadow fleet oil tanker in the English Channel. And Tommy Robinson says his phone was seized when he was detained at Heathrow under anti-terrorism laws.
TalkSport weather brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Joan Klein for Manny, warmer in the south.
TalkSport, official broadcast partner of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Uninterrupted, full-match commentary on every single game of the tournament.
It is game on!
World Cup Game Day live. Germany versus Curacao live from the Houston Stadium on TalkSport.
Hello and welcome to World Cup Game Day Live on another bumper day of action from across the United States, Canada and Mexico. And it's all eyes on Group E today as four-time World Cup winners Germany get their campaign underway.
And now the pass on here, right on the volley. It's 1-1. Florian Wirtz.
Havertz, he's looked sharp. Thought he looked good against the US. You've got Dietz, you've got Musiala. So this could either be one of the recent Germany blow-ups in the group stage, or they could have a really deep run if they click.
And out of the header across the base of goal in.
I think they've got plenty of players who can open up a game, and yeah, it could be a surprise.
Capier's clear. Left-footed shot. 2-0.
And then someone has to score against us to knock us out. So you can see Ecuador getting into the competition, and anyone who draws them in the knockout stages has the task of breaking down that defensive unit for somebody.
Comes to John, who's arriving and knocked it home.
To see such a small nation as Curacao making it to the World Cup, for me, it's what the World Cup's about. You know, first timers, it's always so exciting to see.
Yes, the Germans are in action against World Cup debutants Curacao, looking to avoid a group stage exit for the third straight World Cup. Will be underway in Houston from 6 p.m. Many people's dark horse Japan start their assault on the trophy against the Netherlands from 9 p.m. and overnight Obrigkeit and Ecuador lock horns before Graham Potter arrives with his Sweden side to face Tunisia in Monterrey. Plenty to look forward to. Over the next couple of hours we'll be joined by former England defender Martin Keown. We'll look ahead to the Three Lions opener with Croatia and look back on an opening win for Scotland despite it not being their best performance. And we'll get the latest on player and manager movements this summer. You're listening to TalkSport. Hello, good afternoon. I'm Hugh Croft. Hope you're all enjoying the sunshine. If you're at home in the UK, there's a bit of rain about in Houston, where we'll go next. We'll head to Alex Cook a little bit later on as well. And the beauty of the next couple of hours is that you can get involved on 03717 223344. You can text us on 81089 as well to have your say. Scotland fans, I want to hear from you in particular. Happy with the win, but are you disappointed with the performance? Did you need more goals? We'll be speaking to Mark McGee, former Scotland striker, a little bit later on as well. Firstly, though, I'm delighted to welcome in our commentary team for Germany against Curacao, the Arsenal invincible Martin Keown, who's alongside TalkSport's Nigel Adderley. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon, Hugh.
Good afternoon. Afternoon. Martin, I'll start with you. How much are you enjoying the World Cup so far?
Well, you know, it's interesting watching that game last night when Brazil came into the tournament against Morocco. Suddenly it caught fire for me. Until that point, I wasn't really. I thought, okay, the Mexico game was okay. I thought Switzerland were a bit ordinary. I didn't see anything that really caught my eye. And I think this tournament with 48 teams in it now, we're going to probably have to wait until the last 16, last 32 before we see some real matchups. But that game, Morocco. For anyone who saw that game last night, I thought Morocco were absolutely magnificent in that first half.
It had the feeling of a knockout game at the World Cup, didn't it? Maybe it was just, you know, we know that it was kind of the strongest group match at the World Cup. 6th in the world versus 7th in the world, I think. So we expected a bit of quality. We got quite a bit of quality from Morocco in particular, but also from Brazil and Vinicius Junior with their goal. Nigel, what stood out to you? You've done a few games as well. About the events and the competition, I guess, as a whole so far.
Well, I think it's important that all three of the host nations have got off the mark. I covered the Mexico and the Canada games. Mexico, as Martin said, were pretty ordinary against very ordinary opposition, but they won. And I think Canada, it's very important for them to get their points. I really enjoyed that game.
against Bosnia. It wasn't classic football, but it was dramatic and it was full-blooded. And I think it really brought the World Cup to life before the games yesterday. We're yet to really see a team, I think, who could win the World Cup. I don't think we've seen one so far. Of course, France, Spain and England are major contenders. And Germany, no one's talking about them. So often in the past, when I was growing up and when Martin was in his playing career playing for England, you never looked beyond Germany. They had that aura about them, but at the moment that's gone. And maybe we'll see a glimpse of that here today. Or it's a big day for Curaçao, a huge day for Curaçao. The country as a whole, could they spring another surprise?
Yeah, it was always the way, wasn't it, Martin? You can never count out the Germans. Even if they didn't play well leading up to a major tournament, you always felt they had a chance. The time has obviously answered that question quite emphatically when it comes to how good a nation they are. And yet, 2 World Cups and 2 group stage exits. In the previous 5 World Cups before that, they'd made at least the quarter-final. So it has been a tough time. I mean, not as tough as what Italy are going through, but it has been a tough time for the Germans. We heard Kevin on the previous show, Kevin Hatchard, a European football expert. It was a great show alongside Madge and Alan Pardew, that Germany could be anything at this tournament. Are you as intrigued as I am to maybe find out how good or bad they are?
I think it's difficult for the manager because you've had the likes of Thomas Muller, Gundogan, Cruz have all left the picture, retired, and were fantastic players. I suppose the last, Neuer is the last link with 2014 when they last won the World Cup. So, it's a team that has had quite a few injuries. I'm looking at Havertz. I mean, Havertz, I think, has only completed 2 90-minute games. One of those in the Champions League final in the last 18 months. So they've got. He's going to be centre forward, hopefully tonight. They play a pivotal part. So I think that's been a bit of an issue for Germany with the last couple of seasons was with their. I think it got better for them in the Euros in their own country. They kind of uplifted a little bit. But the pedigree they have as a nation, 4 times winners, 4 times runners up. It's quite astounding to see that. But I think they're a million miles. I think when I look at their defence, I don't see a German side that really worries me. Sane is an interesting player. He disappeared. I mean, it's all about wingers now, isn't it? Yeah. In this competition, we've seen Vinicius Junior last night. I mean, that was a piece of brilliance against a team that really worked very well. Morocco, you see every element of their team. They worked together. They got around the ball, and Casemiro looked like it was, time had caught up with him, and that's because what you've got there is a Brazilian team full of individuals, and then Morocco, a team that clicks and works together. And that's the modern day game now that we have.
That's it. I think the game has changed in such a stark degree when it comes to the data analysis, the sports science, the fact that players are playing now in leagues that have more resources in and around the world. That actually, I think if you are going to go and win a World Cup, you need to have a couple of those world-class attackers, someone that can turn a game on its head with a moment of magic. And actually, we kind of saw that from Vinicius Junior last night, because Brazil weren't playing well. They didn't play well for most of the game. They end the game with a draw because of his special moment. And I wonder if Germany have one of those players, and that will be the big question for them to answer, because if they are going to go far, I think it's probably, Nigel, going to have to be a team effort.
Yes, and we have seen that in the past. They've been a team of not just individual brilliance, collectively brilliant as well, and they've had all of the ingredients. I'm not sure they've got too many of them really tried and tested at the very highest level at the moment. Manuel Neuer, of course, is still in the team, as Martin was saying. He's their last link with 2014, but he's come out of retirement to play this World Cup, and he's had so many injuries over the last couple of years. Will he be as sharp as he was previously? And you look down the side, there are a number of really good players, and in an attacking sense, some excellent players, but it's finding that blend. I mean, Nagelsmann can put out half a dozen fantastic attacking players, but who's going to do the defending for them? And it may not be an issue for them today. I think Curaçao will sit very deep, and they will try and remain in the game for as long as they can. And it may not happen in this group. I think Ecuador will be decent. It's a very good game, or it could be a terrible game, I suppose. It doesn't go well for them.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at Musiala, and I'd say probably he's going to be the 10, but Wirtz would like to be the 10. He's probably going to play out on the wing. I mean, what I did see in the last game against USA, because I watched that game, was Havertz scored one and have set one up. And I just thought he was oozing absolute class in that. Now, as I say, he's been injured for most of the season. So we're going to have to see who clicks. But we've seen with PSG, haven't we, how important wingers are these days. They're really eye-catching. We saw one last night. I watched the Switzerland game, I think one of their first opportunities, and somehow conspired to give away a goal at the last minute. So the team that wins this World Cup will be completely ruthless in front of goal, and that's how you win the competition.
And you make the point about PSG, and the wingers, of course, have been fantastic. But you look at the two at the heart of midfield that have really made them tick this season. And do Germany have the same sort of engine room to make that sort of impact in this World Cup?
Well, I mean, one of them sits in midfield for, is it Kovacic, who plays for Bayern Munich. I don't think he's quite at that level. Coutinho was magnificent, wasn't he? And he's playing for Portugal. I mean, maybe a winner comes from Portugal. We've got this crazy thing where we could have Argentina playing Portugal at some point in this competition, and then you have Ronaldo versus Messi once more. Those players they're like Peter Pan, the pair of them. One of them's going to have to hang up their boots eventually. But no, I think this year's Junior last night was a taste of brilliance, wasn't it? To have watched that, seen them finish, classy moment. But I'm sure they're going to have to become a team. They can become a team, and then they rely on that brilliance to win the matches. But if you're going to have to keep scoring goals of that magnitude to stay in games, it's not going to happen for you.
Martin, very much a club man. Took him about 6.5 minutes to tell us about a classy Arsenal player. So there you go. Kai Havertz, one to look out for this afternoon. I do want to ask you, Martin, about your emotions on the day you made your first appearance at a major tournament for England. It came at Euro 92 under Graham Taylor. You were pulled in late to that squad as well. You played all 3 group matches. Those Curaçao players are going to experience something they've never experienced before today. Can you remember waking up on the morning and how you felt as a young player at that time?
In those days, there wasn't much to distract you other than the phone call home. It seemed like you spent hours in your hotel room. And I remember being in a tunnel and being very aware of the cameras. Self-conscious probably is too far, because and you're thinking actually as you stood there that, goodness, I'm representing all the people I played football with at school, all the Sunday league teams, everybody who wanted to be in this position, and here I am now myself. And do I really want to be here? I looked in the tunnel, and we didn't have a great deal of experience. Gary Lineker was playing, of course it was after Italian 90, we had no Gaza, so it was kind of bereft of any real experience. And I think experience is really important. So, Curaçao coming into this competition without any experience. It's the smallest nation. It's pretty well a place where I think the Dutch, most of them are Dutch, with any kind of ancestry from the Dutch national team. It's an island owned by the Dutch, so they have this situation where they've got so many players from formerly played for the national teams on the 21s or on the 17s. So it'll be a decent level. But this is going to be something huge for them. They can be proud, and it's about putting in that performance, understanding where you are, sticking to the game plan, and taking the game to your opponent.
We're going to get an interesting game, I think, kicking off at 6 o'clock. Of course, the Germans overwhelming favourites. I'm in London. I've seen London is a very cosmopolitan place. Zero issue with the Germany fans who are out there watching proudly, wearing their shirts in London today. But England fans, a message for you, it is your duty. If Curaçao score a goal, even if they get near the box today, you've got to be celebrating, you've got to be cheering them on. Be polite, obviously. We want to be respectful to our friends from Germany, but not too respectful. Today we are all Curaçao fans, alright? At least we are here on TalkSport. So thank you for being with us. You're listening to World Cup Game Day Live on TalkSport, brought to you by Burger King. Burger Buddies, iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the PK app. Coming up next, we're going to go into Scotland's result in more detail with the former Scotland international Mark McGee. That's after their win against Haiti last night. Stay with us.
World Cup Game Day Live on TalkSport, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app. Amazon Prime Days from the 23rd to the 26th of June. These deals are so appealing, like portable steamers for steaming. Whoa, did you just see? I think I'm breaking into so big deals.
month of June, exclusively for Prime members. Join Prime. Need anything from Tesco? Get limited time offers on everyday essentials, such as Andrex toilet roll, simple cleansing wipes, and more.
Club card accepted.
Because every little helps. Majority of larger stores and online ends Tuesday the 16th June. Club card app required.
Welcome to the Coral Fan Zone, where the fans are playing the free Coral Rewards Shaker. Brazilian shaking with trademark flair. Shake Ego. The Americans shaking for supersized rewards. Tasty. And the English managing to shake under the waiter's expectation. Looks like a free bet coming home. Get a guaranteed free bet or offer every day this World Cup with Coral Rewards Shaker. Oh, we're here for it.
This is what you can not one rule but offer the holiday. Available to unpaid restrictions and T's and C's apply.
With LV, I can get my car insurance from just £299. Just the price I'm after right now. And if I'm hit by an uninsured driver, I won't lose my no-claim discount, because insurance is simple when it's me and LV. No wonder we're rated excellent on Trustpilot. Get your quote today at lv.com. Test of new customers pay £299 or less November 2025 to April 2026. Uninsured driver promise is not full tax only. Other vehicle and driver details required. The Hilton sale is now on, and it doesn't sound like this. Instead, it sounds more like this. And with 20% off for Hilton Honors members. Book now at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay. Offers subject to availability. Terms apply.
McDonald's are making their appearance at the FIFA World Cup. They've got a formidable lineup for the FIFA World Cup meal. But who will you pick to lead the line? Big Mac or Chicken McNuggets? Alongside them, Beckham, Henry, Ronaldinho all make their debuts on legendary player cups. The stage is set. Score one of 6 legendary cups with the FIFA World Cup meal. Match ready for adults. Only at McDonald's.
Until the 13th of July from 11 a.m. May includes carbonated drinks, cider, and all collectibles allocated by stops like drink or break even.
World Cup Game Day Live on Talk Sport. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Talk Sport, official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Live. Full coverage of tomorrow's games. Ivory Coast versus Ecuador. Kickoff 12 a.m. Followed by Sweden versus Tunisia. Kickoff 3 a.m. The 2026 FIFA World Cup. Live on Talk Sport.
Let the drama unfold. Scotland's 9th World Cup campaign about to get off and underway. Up to McGinn! Deflected in! It's Super John McGinn! It's Scotland's first goal at a World Cup for 28 years!
That was brilliant, you know, the end that goal, and now the setters on their way.
Guys, I've nearly bawled my eyes out. Wee John McGinn from Clydebank pushes ahead.
Scotland looking at a first major tournament victory since Euro 96. The final whistle is blown! After 28 years, Scotland have returned to the World Cup with a win!
Look, the performance didn't match the result. The result is a fantastic result, but, you know, the performance, you know, left a lot to gain as well.
Well, it was the right result, not exactly the perfect performance that Scotland fans were hoping for overnight. They won at the World Cup for the first time in 36 years. John McGinn's deflected effort in the first half was the difference, and the Tartan Army packed out the Foxborough Stadium to watch them beat Haiti by a goal to nil. Scotland top Group C after a draw between Brazil and Morocco in the other game. As Scotland fans, I want to hear from you. How happy are you about the win? Were you maybe a little bit let down by the performance? Did you expect more goals? Let us know what you think. 03 717 22 33 44. We're taking your calls very shortly indeed. Before then, though, let's get a Scotland camp update with Burger King.
Scotland camp update on Talk Sport. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Brothers. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
And so, following their first major tournament win since Euro 96, the Scotland boss Steve Clarke gave his thoughts on the game.
It was unbelievable at the end. I think the way the game panned out second half, we had something to hold on to. We defended really well. could have been better with the ball. That's normally the downside, but listen, everyone told us it's a must-win game, and we've won it against a really difficult opponent, and I knew it would be difficult, so good night for the fans. And not too many big chances against us, although Haiti seemed to have a lot of the ball and putting a lot of the ball in the box. The two centre-backs outstanding, two full-backs defensively great. Probably could be a little bit better with the ball.
There you go, that's the view of the Scotland boss, Steve Clarke. Let's get Mark McGee's view on it, the former Scotland and Aberdeen striker. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, Steve Clarke has said everything that I was going to say. I agree 100% with everything, how he analysed it. He's absolutely right. I think that, the centre-halves were excellent. I think we did surrender possession far too easily, but I think it was an outstanding result. And, Steve deserves all the credit, for getting us here, for getting that result. And I think the changes he made, although I had hoped that when they made the substitutions, particularly the first three, that would suddenly, have better possession, but we didn't. But, the fact that those three lads were on with fresh legs helped us see out that 1-0 result, as Steve said, about having something to hang on to.
The most important thing is to win. You heard that from his comment there, and I think all Scotland fans would agree. You need the 3 points on the board with Brazil and Morocco to come in the following game. I know some expected more goals, maybe not even more goals, just more of an attacking impetus, more control of the game against a side that's very unfancied in the shape of Haiti. Can we read too much into that, or was it just first game nerves, if you know what I mean?
No, I think we've got to be, honest about it. I think that the second half performance in terms of the possession was poor, and it made the game really, really difficult for us. But regardless of the fact that we were even sort of saying it before, we're trying to give them help, we're trying to support them, we're trying to be positive, and we're saying, that the days are gone where they're going to go into a game like this and be really nervous and that. They've grown out of that. The result against Denmark, all of these things have made them a better team and a more mature team, and we hope that that's going to be true. Well, as it turned out in the second half, it wasn't particularly true. They still look as if they had those nerves that allowed them to give the ball away far too often, and I think come the Morocco game, it can't be like that. If it's like that, then we'll have problems.
How much were the nerves jangling as Haiti, who did push at times for a goal, had a couple of good chances as well. 15 shots in the game to Scotland's 9. Both teams only had 2 shots on target, possession 50-50 as well. How nervy did it get for you watching on?
Well, it was unbearable. After leaving the stand and going walking around the car park, it was a hard watch. But again, back to what Steve says, there was very few moments for Angus Dunn that caused him a problem. There was one that skipped him right in front of him from the left-hand side, and he kind of panned it out a little bit, but it was dealt with. It was a difficult ball to take, but apart from that, there were balls, of course, that went scooting across the front of the goal, and it always makes you a little bit nervous. But the fact was, the two centre-halves were different class. They dealt with everything that came their way, and we saw out the result.
Talk to me about John McGinn, who got the goal. He showed his importance to Scotland once again.
Well, we said Scott McTominay has been getting all the plaudits undeservedly, but John McGinn would be my first name on the team sheet. John McGinn is a fantastic Scotland player of the classic mould, Graham Souness, and I put him up there with Scotland players like that. He's a fantastic individual. He's going to lead this team brilliantly into these 2 very, very difficult games we've got ahead of us, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one that got another goal, but he's a brilliant player, he's a brilliant colleague, and he's for his teammates.
Looking ahead, it's an interestingly poised position that Scotland are in. The stats guys tell us that 3 points and a -2 goal difference would put you on the cusp of exiting, any team on the cusp of exiting the World Cup. They believe that will be round about the mark, that if you're one side or the other of it, you'll either be good or bad. Scotland obviously have 3 points on the board and a positive goal difference, but it means they probably need to guarantee a point against Morocco or Brazil to be absolutely certain. Certainly, they have to avoid a heavy defeat in either of those games. Hopefully they will. Do you think they need to get that extra point to be sure?
have to get it to be sure. I don't think they have to get it to be certain. You know, I think that they could still make it. And your stats boys, given their analytics and all that, are probably right. But I think there's probably another goal in it. I think they'll probably get away with one more goal. But it's Morocco first. If we come through the Morocco game with some sort of reasonable result, not maybe losing by more than one goal. I would still go into the Brazil game optimistic, because I think Morocco, regardless of the fact they drew in Brazil, I think Morocco are the best team in this group.
After what you saw from Scotland and Steve Clarke last night, would you expect him to change his approach next time out against Morocco?
Yeah, I do. I think that the 4-4-2 was difficult, and it meant that the two sort of wider of the midfield players couldn't get to their fullbacks, for instance, and it gave them possession. Now, against Morocco, if they do that, you'll get destroyed. So I think they're going to need probably 5 across the middle, that extra man in the midfield, probably John McGinn slipping inside, and maybe bringing in another wide player and creating that 4-5-1, and I think that will be a much better system. And the other thing is, people make a mistake. People cry out, why don't we play 2 strikers, play 2 up front? Playing the 2 up front makes it very, very difficult in this modern game, with the way other teams play, with the expansiveness of the wing backs and all of that sort of thing. So I think that the other thing about playing the 5 across the middle is it gets you further up the park, because the 2 wider players can get to their fullbacks, and it squeezes everybody up, and we end up playing a much higher line than we do when we're playing a 4-4-2. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but I think that the 4-5-1 would be the way ahead.
Mark McGee, always a pleasure to talk to you, the former Scotland assistant boss there, who's been out in Boston for Scotland's game against Haiti last night, and that was a Scotland camp update, all thanks to Burger King.
Scotland camp update on 4 Sport, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Doesn't feel like too long to wait for Scotland's next match, but it is Friday night, the 19th of June. They're taking on Morocco. It's an 11 o'clock kickoff. You'll hear it live here on TalkSport. Natalie Sawyer alongside Joe Shannon and Mark McGee, of course, the former Scotland assistant. I want to hear from the Scotland fans, though, up next. So give us a call on 03717 22 3344. What did you make of Scotland's first performance and first win since Euro 96 at a major tournament? Did you need more goals? Or are you just happy with the 3 points? Let us know. 03717 22 3344.
World Cup Game Day Live on TalkSport. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
At Betfair, we know nothing is certain in football. Maybe Scotland are the real dark horses. Maybe Neymar will prove there's life in the old dog yet. Or maybe Germany will show hard work beats talent. Everyone's got an opinion. Back yours with a completely free bet on Access or Bet Builders across the first 4 days of the World Cup. Betfair.
Bets on free bet varies £2 to £10. Minimum odds 1.5. Free plus legs. Previous deposit required. Exclusions, eligibilities and T's and C's apply. 18 plus Camberway.org.
When your football team has support, guidance and structure, they can find their game. Same goes for teams online. That's why TikTok has over 50 preset safety and privacy settings for teams. Built-in safeguards to create a better experience from the start. Accounts for teams all start private, and for those under 16, there are no direct messages, and only friends can comment on their videos. So, safeguards are in place, and teams are free to discover and grow. Learn more at tiktok.com/team-safety.
With a Travis Perkins trade account, you open the door to big trade deals every single month. And we've gone big on landscaping. Right through June, get our essential range of 2.4 and 1.8 metre lengths of treated deckboard in green or brown from only £3.15 each. But hurry, when it's gone, it's gone. Join the club and get this and other big landscaping trade deals this June with your trade account. Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. All prices exclude VAT at 20%. Only while stocks last.
When you're growing a small business, whether you've built a team of 20 or you're a one-man band, you need someone who understands the ins and outs. With an HSBC small business banking account, you'll have access to our business specialists, in person and virtually, as well as no monthly account fee, because whatever your small business looks like, we're proud to support you. Search HSBC Small Business Banking Account to get started. Subject to eligibility, credit checks and T's and C's. Visit business.hsbc.co.uk for details.
We don't do soccer songs. At William Hill, we just stick to what we do best. Pack a boost, now including doubles and trebles every World Cup match day. On app and in shop. William Hill, nothing but the best. 2 plus leg football, like a boost and selected markets online and in shops. Min odds, max boost limits and T's and C's apply. 18 plus gamble aware.
World Cup Game Day Live on Talk Sport, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app. The waiting is over. The 2026 FIFA World Cup on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2.
Location commentary of every game with TalkSport's legendary pre- and post-match analysis and comment on all the names in the game that matter.
Including Emmanuel Petit, Brian Friedel,
Henry Hurtler,
David Moyes,
and Kyle Walker.
He fires it at beauty.
the goals, the games, and the biggest names.
That is huge.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup, North America, live on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. Every flick, every foul, every free kick.
Dynamic and dazzling.
World Cup Game Day live on Talk Sport.
Yes, this is World Cup Game Day live on TalkSport. I am Hugh Wilson-Brough. Remember, from 6 o'clock we will have live commentary of Germany against Curacao at the World Cup. But we are talking Scotland. Scotland fans, I want to hear from you. How happy are you with that win against Haiti? Are you maybe a bit disappointed with the performance level? Some of you may be thinking, why did Steve Clark get a new deal? Or did he show you exactly why he deserved it? 03717 223344. You can also drop us a text on 81089. Let's go to the phone lines with your shared takes with Burger King.
Share takes on Talk Sport with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Former England defender Martin, Kieran and Nigel Ellie, our commentary team alongside us as well. But let's start with Mary, a Scotland fan who's given us a call. Good afternoon. How are you feeling after all of that? You must be jubilant.
Well, I'm jubilant, but I feel like I've got post-traumatic stress. It wasn't very easy, was it?
It was nerve-wracking, to say the least, wasn't it? When that header flashed past the post, I think everyone was... Yeah, it was too close for comfort. Maybe that's the story of the game for a lot of Scotland fans who hoped for a lot, hoped for a healthy victory that would set you up for qualification. Now you really need to get the job done in the next couple of games, don't you?
But 3 points, you know, and that's what we needed. I was on yesterday and I said to James Cundy that I thought that we were going to win the World Cup, and we're still on track for that. So, you know, I'm not going to be wrong yet.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, absolutely. But did you expect, I guess, more goals, more control over the game? I just thought, look, maybe we're taking Haiti for granted a little bit, but I expected a little bit more from Scotland.
I think Haiti played very well. All the credit to them. I thought the Scotland defended very well, but they lacked a little bit going forward. And after the first goal, hopefully we push on and get more goals. I thought the gun dope was absolutely brilliant. And Lawrence Shankland, obviously I'm a Hearts fan, his quality just declined massively since he left Hearts and went to Rangers. He's just not the player he was.
No. A lot's changed.
And obviously, a lot has changed. Yeah, he's just obviously lacking that quality. Obviously now there's a vacant managerial position at Hearts following, McKinnon's presence away, and Pep Guardiola's just available now. I'm hopeful that we'll get Pep Guardiola in. I think he'll be the right man for the job.
He is. Who knows? Tony Bloom might spend his money with Pep Guardiola. Mary, thank you very much indeed. Best of luck against Morocco. I'm sure we'll be talking soon once again. And Gary's a Scotland fan, I'm sure, who's on the line as well. Good afternoon, Gary. How are you feeling? Do you have a bit of PTSD as well?
Hi, is that me on? Yes.
It is you. You might need to turn the music down. I guess the party's still going.
Yes. How are you doing? Okay.
Very well indeed. How are you feeling about Scotland's win?
Honestly, I feel absolutely fantastic. I don't get some of the Scotland fans why they did them. They're despondent, and we won last night. You just look at Switzerland, they had 20 shots in goal, and
and then Qatar scored late on. So we get 3 points in the bag.
Yeah, no, it's very, very important. You had to win the game. Let's put it that way.
That was a cup final for us last night. That was a cup final. And the way Steve Clark has got us playing is like, it's a club. It feels like a club mentality. The way they've got all the club together. It's absolutely fantastic.
What are you hoping to see against Morocco? They looked really good against Brazil.
This is what I was talking about some of my pals. Morocco actually looked so good, by the way. They looked so good. And Brazil looked, they didn't look like a Brazil team to me. Like, Casemiro was all over the place. They looked rugged in midfield. And I think they could get at them, honestly. But I think they could still take something from that game. But it's one game at a time. It's Morocco next. And I think they can take a point off them.
I mean, the good thing is you defended well against Haiti, right? And you might have to do a lot more defending against Morocco. Yeah, but actually, you looked very good in that department.
Yeah, that's the thing. I did. See, when it comes to the Morocco game, that see the formation we played last night, the 4-4-2, that's going to change. That'll not harm. That'll come to about 5. There'll be 5 at the back, or 1 up front. There will be, and Keane will come back in. Because we need to, see when I watched that game last night, Morocco game, down the right hand side with Hakimi, was down the right hand side. That's where all that attack came from.
Now, I've got to ask you one more thing. As a proud Scotsman, which I'm sure you are, I think only Mexico, the host on that opening game's national anthem, could compare to the way the Flower of Scotland was belted out by those Southern Army fans last night. What a great moment, wasn't it?
Absolutely amazing. See, when we were in the pub in Motherwell, Van Melon's bar, Motherwell, and it was absolutely fantastic. We're all standing there, it was hair in the back of your neck type thing. It was just absolutely amazing, and I can't wait until Friday night again. It's just, here we go again.
What happened when the ball hit the back of the net?
Oh, mate, there was limbs going everywhere, there was pipes going everywhere. Like, I did say with my pals, where are you? It was underneath all the bodies.
Absolutely fantastic moment.
It was absolutely amazing, mate, honest to God.
Right, Morocco Friday night, that's the next one. You're going to be back in Mellons in Motherwell?
Oh, I'm in Mellons now, Motherwell, yeah.
You still out, are you?
Yeah, well, you know what happened last night? I left here at 4:30 in the morning, and then I went home, and then I pulled the glass of wine, put the Turkey game on, and I fell asleep on the couch, and then I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, the game was finished, and then I drank the glass of wine. I was still celebrating.
A little 7 a.m. tipple.
And then I came back out again.
The party doesn't stop up in Scotland. Gary, thank you very much indeed. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon up in Motherwell. If you're going to Mellons, watch out for Gary, alright? I think he's been enjoying himself. A little bit too much. Gary, thank you very much indeed. Let's speak to Neil, also a Scotland fan. Are you still celebrating, Neil?
Still celebrating. I'm not so ahead this morning. I think the 3 points is what we wanted. We're hoping for a few more goals, to be honest. But I don't know if 3 points will be enough. I think we need to get at least a point from the other 2 games to secure qualification. And
so you're one of those that's just a little bit disappointed that you didn't create more, didn't score more?
Yeah, I think so. I was hoping for 2 or 3 now just to get for the we get a heavy defeat now in one of the next 2 games. Yeah. It's quite likely whether we go through or not. So,
did you take a look at the Brazil-Morocco game, and did you, a bit like Gary, did you take a little bit of confidence from how poor Brazil were?
I think poor Brazil were, yeah, but I thought Morocco were really good. In their first 10, 15 minutes, we could have 2 or 3 goals there. Obviously, Vinicius Junior popped up with a bit of magic, but yeah, I think I've probably, going with the performances last night, probably more chance to get a point against Brazil and Morocco, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, Neil, thank you very much indeed, and we wish you all the best of luck with Friday night. Scotland taking on Morocco live on TalkSport. As I say, thank you to all of you that give us gave us a quick call, and if you've got a share take of your own, you can voice note us as well. You can give us a call on 03717 223344. That was all thanks to Burger King.
Share takes on Talk Sport with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
So, let's look ahead. Germany beginning their tilt at winning a 5th World Cup title with a meeting with World Cup debutant Curaçao. The Germans have exited in the group stage at the last 2 World Cups. Curaçao are the smallest nation in both area and population to ever qualify for the tournament. Just 158,000 inhabitants. So it will be a special moment indeed for a tiny Caribbean nation taking on the might of the Germans. Let's get the team lineups with Bet365.
On the ball, on Talk Sport, with Bet365. Celebrating the summer by bringing you more offers than ever before. 18 plus, gamble.org.
And let's get the details from your match commentator, Nigel Adley.
And of course, Curaçao up against a nation of 84 million today in Germany. And their coach, Nagelsmann, has picked the same team which actually won their final warm-up game 2-1 against the US in Chicago last week. That means Manuel Neuer, the 40-year-old, who's come out of retirement for this World Cup, plays in his 5th tournament. Only Hugo Lloris has played more times as a goalkeeper in the World Cup, and he replaces Lothar Matthäus as Germany's oldest ever player. He's behind a back four of Kimmich, Tah, Schlotterbeck and Brown, Pavlovic and Metscher in midfield, with Zane, Musiala and Wirtz, a star-studded trio behind Havertz in attack. As for Curaçao, they have 10 of their players born in the Netherlands. The one exception is the former Manchester United and current Sheffield United midfielder Tapi Chong. He's the only player born on Curaçao. He'll be at the heart of their midfield. It's a team packed with Eredivisie experience, but they only have 3 current Eredivisie players in their side. They also have 2 who currently play for the second-tier club, Miami FC in the United States. Their goalkeeper, Elroy Room, and their striker, Jurgen Locadia, who will lead the attack. Also, playing behind him is Sonche Hansen, the Middlesbrough midfielder, one of a number of players who won honours with various age groups with the Netherlands. It is Room in goal, Floranus, Bazua, Obispo and Fonville the back four, Comencia and Bacuna in midfield, Hansen, Chong and the other Bacuna, Janilio Bacuna in attack, and Locadia will be the centre forward. So it's a team full of experience. Curaçao, of course, a massive day for them, but their team, while they've never played together before at a World Cup, they certainly do have plenty of experience playing around Europe.
And alongside Nigel, the former England defender, Martin Keown, very quick reaction to the team news, and you basically called that Germany lineup a little bit earlier on. It's exactly what you expected.
Yeah, of course, Wirtz will be out on that left-hand side, whether or not that's the position he really wants. I'm keen to have a look at Sane to see if he's any idea the player that Pep once had at Man City, and fully expect, of course, Germany to win this game conclusively, but let's have a good look first. Chong is a player that really impressed me recently against Scotland, scored an incredible goal. The pace he showed that day, and they did go down to 10 men, let's not forget, when they faced Scotland. They ended up losing 4-1, but I think that with the 10 men just being available, that
the red card came at 1-0 up as well.
Yeah, and I think that distorted, shall we say, the true picture of how well they played.
Looking at Manuel Neuer, a special moment for him. We don't usually do too much analysis on the goalkeepers. He's come out of retirement for this one. Just the second German to play in 5 World Cups after the great Lothar Matthäus. He's in illustrious company.
Yeah, we know what a top goalkeeper he is. He's the sweeper, keeper, as he became known. So let's see if he's still got it in him. I think I've not seen the stats. I think about 19 games is what I'm told. So maybe he can get the record. I think 25 is what he needs to Matthäus. I mean, look at what he did as an outfield player. But Neuer just keeps going and going.
Absolutely. Going to have much more build-up to Germany against Curaçao from around about 5:30 as we build into a 6 p.m. kick-off. Plenty of discussion still to come before then as well, but that was the team lineups with Bet365. It's 18 plus, gamble aware.org.
On the ball, on Talk Sport, with Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 18 plus, gamble.org.
You're listening to the World Cup Game Day live show on Talk Sport, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for Norway, and we'll discuss England next. Their game against Croatia to come on Wednesday. But who's going to start? That's next here on TalkSport.
World Cup Game Day live on TalkSport. Brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Try the new Burger King Burger Buddies box. A hat trick of 3 flame-grilled iconic snackable burgers. Now available for delivery. It's made for sharing. Sort of.
Lotto from the National Lottery now gives you 2 chances to win with every ticket. So it could be you, and it could be you. You, and then the same you, again. You. Every ticket, 2 chances to win. New Lotto. It could be you, and it could be you. See website for Lotto changes. Rules apply. Players must be 18 years old. Amazon Prime Days from the 23rd to the 26th of June. These deals are so appealing. Like portable steamers for steaming. Did you just sing? I think I'm breaking into song. Big deals, oil fryers, vacuums and skincare. I can't stop singing.
Get big deals this Prime Day, the 23rd to the 26th of June, exclusively for Prime members. Join Prime.
When your football team has support, guidance and structure, they can find their game. Same goes for teams online. That's why TikTok has over 50 preset safety and privacy settings for teams. Built-in safeguards that create a better experience from the start. Accounts for teams all start private. Those under 16, there are no direct messages, and only friends can comment on their videos. So, safeguards are in place, and teams are free to discover and grow. Learn more at tiktok.com/team-safety.
Somewhere, overlooking the Met, there's a bar with no sign out front. The kind of place where you could all sit for hours, watch the sea on the horizon, and football on the telly. This summer, find a beautiful game in beautiful places with Hutto, the only major network that lets everyone roam freely in the EU, up to 25 gig. Hutto, essential for living.
Bolt-on required if limit exceeded. Terms apply. See order.co.uk/terms.
So it spells in 3, 2, 1. Pop to Co-op. Get any 2 packs of 100% British barbecue favourites for £6.50. That's smashed burgers and sweet chili chicken kebabs. Co-op. Owned by you, right by you.
Then 6th of October selected products subject to availability. Co-op with free stores only. Full terms at co.uk/summer.
At Betfair, we know nothing is certain in football or in betting. So maybe you've got a tip. Maybe it seems clear and obvious. Or maybe it's best to let this one go. Maybe Betfair can help with that. We could all do with a break sometimes. Stay on top of your play with our safer gambling tools so you can bet at your best. Try one out for size on the Betfair app. Everyone's got an opinion. Back yours, or don't, at Betfair. 18+gambleaware.org.
World Cup Game Day live on TalkSport. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
TalkSport, official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Live.
Full coverage of tomorrow's game.
Spain versus Cape Verde. Kickoff at 5 p.m. Followed by Belgium versus Egypt. Kickoff 8 p.m. The 2026 FIFA World Cup. Live on TalkSport.
You're listening to World Cup Game Day Live. Hugh was and Croft with you alongside Martin Keir and the Arsenal invincible former England